And I do get all of that. When I spoke with the regional governor for the Moda region, I had him to pass on my regards to Lieutenant Ambassador Kadim in the Moda and Lieutenant Ambassador Ibrahim over in the Yendi and the Ghana Songhai district. Given the fact that uh, certain things have changed over the past 60 Earth days for us, we have begun to see a little bit of an increase in our monthly silver. It just bodes well that we'll be able to get a few things sorted out. We do have to get things back on track and moving for the Albion district. There were funds sent to the Albion district. We're going to send over some more shortly. And when we do, we'll also send additional funds to the Yendi and the Ghana Songhai district. We'll sort out particular things that we're planning in the Azania Matabele and the Ab-Zu Southern Rim region. Here in the North-Amexem, we're probably going to take on additional non-GMO seeds to stockpile. That may happen very quickly. In terms of other equipment, material, and supplies, the funds to cover all that, we have to acquire them first. And when we do, we'll see after those concerns for the North-Amexem as well. My biggest concern actually is ComNet, the shortwave radio systems that we require. I don't mean the handhelds. We have plenty of handhelds. What we do not have are the base station setups. We need to get on that like yesterday, sooner rather than later. So they are more expensive systems. However, they are a necessity for us to maintain the 3Cs: communication, command, and control. So we have to look at those things. And also what I am very encouraged by is some of the nationals who have been working to establish a business, they have gotten through particular bottlenecks. So I anticipate that there'll be 3 to 5 new businesses formed within the Amexem-Moor-Empire in due course, at least on this side of the ocean. There's discussions now with a particular business that we have in the Azania. Actually, we only have one business formed in the Azania Matabele district, and that business is being transformed. It's still going to be a trading business, not a services business. However, there's basically a change in the name of the business and who are the stakeholders on that particular business. So the business model was not discussed. The type of business was. I'm familiar with the previous business plan. I won't discuss certain things only because I don't have all the information yet. So when we do get it, Interior gets it, Customs gets it, and Treasury and Budget gets it, and then we can have an intelligent conversation on those topics. In terms of what's happening outside of our jurisdiction and venue, well, that's a whole other matter entirely, of course. There's a steadily creeping rise to the international cost of nat gas, basically because what's happening in Condom, misnomer so-called Australia, whatever that is. Their two primary producers are dealing with the potential of a strike. Now, they do contribute a decent amount of nat gas on the global market. However, the psychology of the threat of a strike there has been causing angst amongst traders for nat gas. I'm not saying they're blowing it out of proportion to the point that they're raising the cost of nat gas. They're not far from it, though, at least in my estimation. Demand's going to be down for it anyway, at least temporarily. There's little internal issues for them regarding nat gas, and there are others who have plenty of supplies. I know we're coming into the autumn and the winter season in the Northern Hemisphere soon, but parties have already started stockpiling to get ready for that. So I don't really see what the big hubbub is about. This is all, like I said, psychological, and folks play a psychological game, to ramp up pricing as they would. It is what it is for parties that insist on partaking in that. I'm actually more annoyed with what's happening to our kith and kindred in the Azania. The power outages are abhorrent. And with all those resources squandered over the decades after the colonizing hostiles no longer held sway as they did before, parties have engaged in abject failure of the populations there. And they're suffering significant power outages consistently on a daily basis, even in their most heavily populated areas. Again, poor planning portends poor performance. And it's hard now to imagine this as being intentional. Well, I observe what they do, and it helps me in my plans that I present before all of you, so that when we sit down to see what makes sense and how we can formulate a way forward and a budget for a way forward, we can do things with competence and intelligence to be effective. I guess in closing, what I would say is, parties are playing games and manipulating things. We know the usual. I'm just annoyed because our kith and kindred continue to volunteer to participate in the stupidity that they don't have to be participating in. There's just entirely too much information out there for folks to be able to adjust course in their thinking and in their behavior patterns. So when they start crying and complaining about what's happening to them, like, come on. If you can donate X amount of your hours per day, or contribute, if you would, X amount of your hours per day to video games and TikToking and all the other mayhem that parties participating in, you can sit down for a few minutes and engage in some information investigation. But as you always say, folks are where they're at. And you're right about that. They are where they're at. And where they're at is lost, pointless, and rudderless. And they volunteer for it. Those that are looking to have an intelligent conversation, we can do that. But the rest of them, I love them, but I just can't get myself there. I don't do the empathy and sympathy thing for folks that know that they're choosing poorly and continue to volunteer to choose poorly. That would be me ratifying and condoning their behavior pattern. And I just simply won't do it.